Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, positive signs in the fight against the coronavirus. A 4-week downward trend in cases has resulted in a 50% drop in infections.
And let's take a live look out at the Alamo City. Already 53 degrees out there. Yesterday was a sunny Super Bowl Sunday. What is the rest of the day? What does the week look like? We're going to check in with Mike Osterhage in just a few moments. But for now, good morning. It is Monday, February 8th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us, Sarah. I'm just going to come clean right off the bat. I was wrong.
Okay.
I had picked the Chiefs. I was very wrong. But credit to you.
Did you lose money or something, Max?
We don't want to talk about that right now. But credit to you. You said the Bucs were going to win, and you were rooting for Tom Brady.
I was. And I love Patrick Mahomes, of course, but I just wanted to see the GOAT do it one more time.
There we go. We got the baby GOAT in the making.
Yeah. And then baby GOAT following him right behind him. Okay.
All right, Mike.
Okay, all right, Mike, let's talk about weather, Mike.
Who's baby GOAT?
Baby GOAT, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
So he's like following.
Future GOAT.
Future GOAT.
What was the stat? Mahomes only has 2 playoff losses, both to Brady.
Both to Brady.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, good morning, everybody. The weekend was just absolutely fantastic. Today, we're starting off with a lot of clouds. Very warm and humid out there. We have temperatures that are about 8 to 10 degrees above normal, mid-upper 50s in parts of the hill country, 49, 48 the cool spot there in New Braunfels, and dew point temperatures, measure moisture in the atmosphere. They are definitely up, and we're not seeing anything as far as any fog, maybe tomorrow, but it's going to stay very warm, very humid throughout the rest of today. Now, mountain cedars on the moderate side, low amounts of everything else, and kind of a spring day, basically. Temperatures really won't move all that much, if at all, this morning. Mostly cloudy skies, 52 degrees later on this afternoon. A lot more sunshine, especially off to the west, and we'll start to clear out from west to east. But then overnight clouds come back in here. About the same situation tomorrow. Very warm and humid, highs in the mid-70s. Same thing on Wednesday. Then Wednesday night, it's all going to be changing. Tale of 2 seasons this week, because it's spring and then it's going to be winter again. Details on the cold temperatures coming up in just a couple of minutes. Getting ready to hit the road, and traffic authority Samuel King. Were you disappointed with the outcome last night?
No, I actually had picked the Bucs, so I'm happy this morning. So
did you win money?
Well, no.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No. But you're in the money if you're plenty of green, as you can see. If you're in traffic this morning, there is some construction around the town, though, and it's one out here on the east side. This is 1604 southbound at I-10 East, so you can see that there's some delay there at this hour, and that's because the southbound lanes are closed, so people are having to get onto the turnaround there, to get onto 1516 there to get around that. So that's going to be going for the next half hour or so. Also, all the way on the west side, we've had some construction on 410 at Military, but it looks like that's going to be clearing soon. But we do have a look at that right now on TransGuide. They are adjusting the cameras there, and you can see some of the crews still at work out there for probably another half hour or so again. So that's looking fine. So again, construction on the west side, construction on the east side, and actually some on the north side as well until 5 this morning at 1604 and 281. Max and Sarah, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. Now to the latest on the pandemic. New data on the contagious UK variant of the coronavirus spreading throughout the United States.
It comes amid signs of real progress in hospitals coast to coast. ABC's Mona Kaza Abdi has the latest.
This morning, positive signs in the fight against COVID. A 4-week downward trend in cases has resulted in a 50% drop in infections since the peak on January 8th. And for the first time since November 2nd, the country is reporting fewer than 100,000 daily cases. The vaccine rollout slowly gaining momentum. 9% of Americans have now received at least 1 shot. And Pfizer is ramping up production of its vaccine, cutting the time it takes to make a batch from 110 days to just 60. But this morning, variants of the virus are threatening progress. South Africa has now suspended use of AstraZeneca's vaccine after data showed it gives only minimal protection against mild to moderate sickness caused by the South African variant of the virus. And in the U.S., a new study, not yet peer-reviewed, suggests cases of the highly contagious UK variant are potentially doubling every 10 days.
It does show that we have likely more of the variants floating around in our population. That could explain why we may still see some more surges in the future.
In the meantime, some progress in getting kids back to class. In Chicago, the teachers union and the city reaching a tentative deal to bring some students and teachers back to in-person learning this week. And in San Francisco, a tentative agreement could have kids back in public schools soon after learning remotely since last March. Teachers unions have demanded teachers be vaccinated before kids return. But the CDC director last week said schools can safely reopen before teachers are vaccinated. As early as this Wednesday, the CDC is expected to release official guidance on reopening schools. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Well, this past week in Bexar County has seen more than 8,000 additional cases, with 739 of those being new cases. A 7-day moving average is at 1,228. Metro Health is reporting 1,451 backlog cases from December 10th to January 18th. That raises the overall number of cases to 183,201. There were also 3 new deaths reported and 150 backlog deaths from that same time frame. The death toll now sits at 2,361. As for hospitalization rate, the slow decline continues. Right now, 944 people are hospitalized. That's down by 25, with 354 people in the ICU and 200 people on ventilators.
In your morning headlines, former President Donald Trump's impeachment trial set to begin this week. According to a new ABC News Ipsos poll, a narrow majority of Americans, about 56%, say they support the Senate convicting Donald Trump and barring him from holding federal office ever again. The Senate is set to launch the impeachment trial tomorrow, considering the charge that Trump's words to protesters at the Capitol rally, as well as claims about a stolen and rigged presidential election, ended in a provoked mob that stormed the Capitol. Senate Democrats say they expect a short impeachment trial, while Trump's defenders in the Senate, they are dismissing it as a waste of time.
Well, search and rescue operations are underway in the Himalayas. They are looking for more than 3 dozen power plant workers trapped in a tunnel after part of a glacier broke off and sent a wall of water and debris rushing down a mountain. At least 15 people have been rescued and more than 150 are missing. The death toll has risen to 14. Authorities fear many more to be dead and were searching for bodies downstream using boats. Officials say the focus was on saving 37 workers who were stuck inside a tunnel at one of the affected hydropower plants.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appeared in a Jerusalem courtroom today, formally declaring he is not guilty of corruption charges just weeks before the national elections, in which he hopes to extend his 12-year tenure. The charges include fraud, breach of trust, and accepting bribes in 3 separate cases. In recent months, Israelis have held weekly protests calling on Netanyahu to resign over the charges, criticizing his government's response to the coronavirus crisis. He is accused of accepting lavish gifts from wealthy friends and offering to grant favors to powerful media moguls in exchange for favorable coverage of him and his family. Netanyahu has denied any wrongdoing, and he has dismissed the charges against him, calling them a witch hunt orchestrated by biased law enforcement and media. Time now is 4:38, 53 degrees out.
Well, still ahead, a first look at a car crash investigation involving the son of Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid.
And next, a look back at some of the highlights of last night's Super Bowl. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Bucks get a big W. We'll explain.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. 53 degrees at 4:38 this morning. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Mike says that thing when it heats up later in the day, that little trend we've been seeing might continue, but he'll also explain this cool front we have coming in later in the week.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Monday. If you stayed up to watch the Super Bowl, odds are you're a little tired right now. It is 4:41 this morning. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the Super Bowl champions, just in case you didn't watch. Tom Brady, 7th Super Bowl title, looking familiar despite moving down south to a new team, a new conference during a pandemic. So Tom Brady throwing 2 touchdown passes to his old friend right there, Gronk. There's another one, a little Gronk spike action. Antonio Brown also having a touchdown. That makes 3 for Tom. That helped the Bucs lead the Chiefs. And I'm sorry to all those Tech fans out there. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs not able to keep up. This would wrap up Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady getting his 5th Super Bowl MVP, extending his Super Bowl title record. 10 appearance, 9 with New England, 1 with Tampa Bay, or Tampa Bay if you want to be fun this morning. 43 years old, Tom Brady breaking his own record for oldest player to win a Super Bowl and joined the Hall of Famer Peyton Manning as the only quarterback to win a ring with multiple franchises. Stunningly, it was easier than any of his previous Super Bowl wins. Mahomes losing by double digits for the first time in his 4-year career. Because of the pandemic, only 25,000 mask-wearing fans attended, including about 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers who were given free tickets by the NFL. But on top of them, also 30,000 cardboard cutouts made the stadium look full. All right, we talked about the Super Bowl. Now the Super Spurs, San Antonio Spurs, trying to go for 3 in a row tonight. They are facing off against the Golden State Warriors here at home, AT&T Center. Tip-off set for 7:30 this evening. Same song, different verse. Tomorrow night, Warriors, a little back-to-back action. They're going to be staying in town for another game. Then on Friday, the Spurs hitting the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. Then Charlotte Hornets on Sunday. So Saracosta football season is over, but don't worry. We have a bevy of Spurs games to watch.
I'm very excited about that.
Me too. All right, 4:43, 53 degrees out.
We'll still ahead a closer look at how a local teen is cleaning up San Antonio streets with one kick push at a time.
Plus, the latest on an investigation to the son of Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid after he was involved in a car crash that ended with 2 children injured.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the tragedy before the Super Bowl.
EMS arriving on scene, we have 1 child possibly seriously injured.
According to police reports obtained by ESPN, Britt, who is also an outside linebackers coach for his dad's team, hit 2 cars pulled over on an on-ramp near the Chiefs facility Thursday night, 3 days before the Super Bowl. A 4-year-old and a 5-year-old in one of the cars rushed to the hospital. 5-year-old Ariel Young suffering life-threatening injuries. This morning in critical condition with a brain injury.
Critical injuries, I heard. Do we need to shut the highway down?
According to the report, one officer said he could smell a moderate odor of alcoholic beverages emanating from Reid after the accident, and that Reid advised he had 2 to 3 drinks and was on Adderall. Complaining of stomach pain, he was taken to the hospital with undisclosed injuries. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have a live report from Missouri with the very latest. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, Kansas City.
And back here at home, a San Antonio teenager planning a major trip on 4 tiny wheels, and it's all a way to raise awareness about road litter.
Daphne Gray shares his story and why he's using his passion for skateboarding to send a message.
When I told her, she almost had a panic attack.
That's a reasonable reaction any parent would have after learning their 16-year-old plans to travel over 800 miles across Texas on a skateboard.
It's a long way, and especially the routes that are up there. I believe some of the only routes that you can get up there are on highways. So that's a scary thing.
Ezra Reagan is an endurance skateboarder.
When I started skating, I got really addicted to it, and I used to just ride for like 8 or 9 hours straight, and I have to say I would at least track 20 miles in a day.
Inspired by record-setting professional athletes, Ezra is determined to push himself this summer.
Probably going to have to average about 100 miles a day to get it done as quickly as I can, because I have school and stuff.
But he's not just doing it for the fun. He's doing it to raise awareness for road cleanliness. Ezra plans to pick up trash along the way.
On a skateboard, you start to realize how rough the roads are and everything, and especially when you start putting like trash and glass and everything on it, it gets hard on cars, hard on your board, and that ends up going into just a big financial problem.
This upbeat, positive teenager overcame major obstacles in his life.
I did grow up with a fairly dysfunctional family. My parents did get divorced, and that was definitely a hard thing to deal with. I got a relationship with my dad and a relationship with my mom, so that's great.
Through those hardships,
I kind of turned a lot to humor
and his love for skateboarding.
I become a completely different person when I ride. Like it's very euphoric. It's a big escape.
As he plans for the big journey in May, Ezra says he will work on conditioning himself physically and mentally for the sake of helping our environment. That's what the skater kids would call gnarly on What's Up South Texas.
Right now is the best time to be ambitious and just find your passion and go with it.
Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Gnarly.
Gnarly.
What the kids are saying. All right, he talked about the rough roadways out there. Any skateboarders on the roads?
Is it looking gnarly out there?
I hope there's no skateboarders on the roads at this hour with how dark it is. But things are looking fine. And we did mention that we have a couple of construction related issues out there. This is 1604 at I-10. You can see there's a little bit of delay now north of I-10 on 1604 because you do have to get off of the highway there, go over to 1516 and then turn around and come back down. So that's something to watch out for. Still have the construction left over from the weekend on 1604 from TPC to 281, excuse me, from TPC Parkway to 1604. That runs till 5 o'clock, but the drive time looks good. There's some alternating lane closures there to watch out for. And here again on the west side, some work at 410. This is the view from Culebra. That should be wrapping up here shortly, guys, too, as well.
All right. Well, just in the break, you were actually asking Mike if there was any fog out there, and a little surprising.
I spoke a little too soon off the top of the show. First of all, this picture is absolutely gorgeous out there. I don't know where the trail is that talking about, but it says could flood the pin feed with all the pictures. Okay, because we love KSAT Connect pictures. Thank you very much for that. So no problems in this view. We do have a lot of clouds, but yeah, there is some fog that is showing up right around Randolph, a hint of it, and then some around New Braunfels, and then further up going in toward Austin, a little bit further off to the east. So yeah, watch out for some of that, and it always tends to creep, you know, in the usual spots. Now it's at Randolph a little bit. Some will maybe pop up around Stinson in the next couple of hours. So here's the computer model throughout the rest of the day. We've got a lot of clouds right now, and we'll start to see more clearing off to the west, and that will continue to kind of clear out from west to east later on in the afternoon. So late this afternoon, I think we see a bit more sunshine. Clear skies for the first part of the evening. Clouds come back in tomorrow in the morning, and then they'll start to clear out in the afternoon. And still, it's going to be very, very mild. Here's some of the clouds we have around here right now. And then you look at around the country, and yeah, there's a little bit of snow right there. We've got this almost straight west to east flow. No big deal around the country. These are actual air temperatures. This is your gee whiz for this morning. It is 26 degrees below zero, the air temperature. That's the thermometer reading up there in International Falls, 19 below Bismarck, even Omaha at 5 below, and 13 Wichita, and then we're sitting at 52 degrees. Then you got wind chills on top of this. It feels like 42 degrees below zero at International Falls as of right now. Just unimaginably cold weather up there. It is going to be staying up there to the north for the first half of the week. We stay very mild, 50s and 70s, so well above normal temperatures all the way through Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, the front is going to be moving on through here. A lot of computer models are finally agreeing pretty much on this, that we get colder temperatures. I think temperatures will drop throughout the day on Thursday. We'll still have some rain around here. It's going to be cold Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday night late, it looks like we get sort of a secondary surge. So it's going to be pretty chilly then, or I should just say pretty cold on Valentine's Day. Today, 68 at noon, mostly cloudy skies. Then we'll see a bit more sunshine late this afternoon, call it partly cloudy. 74, a high temperature, well above normal. Same thing tomorrow, same thing on Wednesday. Wednesday, we will have a few showers around here, though, and then that front moves through late. Numbers are upside down on Thursday. I think we're warmer early on in the day and we'll drop throughout the day down to 47 by late in the afternoon. 55 on Friday. Very cold. Cold start on Saturday. A couple of showers around here. And then Sunday, I think even colder. Start off just below freezing, then only stay in the upper 30s, maybe close to 40 on Sunday.
Yeah, but still nothing compared to Omaha.
No. No, Omaha or International Falls.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much, Mike. Time now, 4:54, 53 degrees out.
Well, still ahead, a look back at last night's big game commercials featuring the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Monday. Bruce Springsteen appearing in a Super Bowl commercial, plus the latest on several new GameStop movies.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Between red and blue, between servant and citizen.
That's Bruce Springsteen, who famously doesn't do endorsements, appearing in that 2-minute Jeep ad that ran during the Super Bowl. Titled The Middle, the boss talks about America's need to find common ground.
Our light has always found its way through the darkness.
It took 10 years of asking to get Springsteen to agree to do the spot, with his own 1980 Jeep appearing with him.
It's the little things, Jimmy. It's the little things that rip you apart. It's the little things that get you caught.
The Little Things held on to the #1 spot at the pandemic box office for a second weekend. The thriller taking in another $2.1 million for a 2-week total gross of $7.8 million. HBO's working on a movie about that whole GameStop stock spike saga. Netflix and MGM have got movies in development about it too. And Grammy winner Anderson .Paak is 35 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
So I was reading, it looks like there could be 4 movies and a TV show all related to the GameStop.
Overkill.
I'm now 4:58, 52 degrees out.
Well, still ahead, a closer look at what's coming up this week in former President Trump's impeachment trial.
Plus, how one lawmaker wants to better protect the stuff you buy online from being stolen from porch pirates. We'll explain.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
An overnight crash sending a woman through a fence at a landfill. More details just ahead.
And coming up, the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. I'm Andrew Dimbert in Washington, D.C. with more on what to expect.
And 52 degrees at 5:01 this morning, starting off not too cold, pretty average, but Mike says later this week we can expect a cold front. We'll have this forecast in just a bit.
Good morning. It is Monday, February 8th. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, Sarah, I got to ask, what time did you go to bed last night?
Oh, very late.
Yeah.
I was gonna pull through, but you know, the Super Bowl happens once a year.
Right. It's adrenaline at this point.
I know.
Get to hang out with our friends.
Well, I mean, I didn't do anything, but I wanted to watch the ads.
I meant here at work.
I wanted to watch the ads, and I really enjoyed the weekend's halftime show. I know some people were like, oh, no, I loved it.
Mike, what was your take on the weekend?
Actually, I was in bed at halftime, so I was being good after that because, after the first half, it was like, yeah, I think this one's almost in the bag. But anyway, starting off right now, we are at 50 degrees. No wind to speak of. A lot of humidity out there, a lot of clouds, and it's going to be a very warm, kind of spring-like day, getting well up into the mid-70s later on today. Same thing the next couple of days, and then just wait. More on that in a second. The aquifer went up 0.3 of a foot in yesterday's reading, and the allergens still got a laundry list out there. Mountain cedar looks like the season's finally coming to an end, which usually happens right around mid-February. Of course, oak pollen is going to be around the corner. Mold, ash, and elm are all on the light side. Now, we do have a little bit of fog to deal with this morning, going up 35. First of all, dew point temperature changes in the past 24 hours. A lot more humidity. I mean, these numbers have gone up 11 degrees here in town, 16 in Pleasanton. The dew point is 28 degrees higher than it was at this time yesterday in Hondo. So that's what's feeding some of the fog around the area. Visibility is down to about 3 miles or so in parts of around New Braunfels. We do have, like I said, a little bit of mountain cedar showing up out there. So warm, humid. We'll have some showers. This is kind of the same situation each and every day this week. We do have some showers on Wednesday. Temperatures will be starting in the 50s, getting up into the 70s today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Then late Wednesday night, that front moves on through here. We'll have some showers around on Thursday. It's going to be very windy on Thursday as well. Temperatures drop down throughout the day. It's going to be cold and wet, cold on Friday, cold and wet Saturday, and then even colder on Sunday. So get ready. It's kind of the tale of two different seasons this week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King, and what's going on out there? I don't see anything on the map.
No, things still looking fine right now this morning across the region. I had some construction out here on 410 at 151, but right now you can see the travel time is looking good between 151 and Ray Ellis in 5 minutes or 6 minutes in each direction. Looking at travel times across the region, 26 minutes coming in from New Braunfels on 35, 25 minutes on I-10 from Bernie, 30 minutes on I-10 from Seguin into downtown San Antonio. And here's a look at TransGuide right now. 410 at Evers, looking pretty sparse at the moment. And 410 at Ingram also looking good this morning. Max, Sarah, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. New this morning, San Antonio police investigating an overnight wreck that ended with a woman crashing into a fence at a landfill. All this happening in the 7,000 block of I-10 East. Police on the scene telling us a man was actually detained for suspicion of DWI after he allegedly rear-ended the vehicle that the woman was driving. The impact sent her vehicle off the main lanes of the highway and into the fence. That woman taken to the hospital. Luckily, though, only minor injuries. No other injuries were reported. And in your morning headlines this morning, the Senate impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump set to begin this week. President Trump facing a lone article of impeachment, which alleges that he incited the deadly January 6th riot at Capitol.
But as ABC's Andrew Dimbert explains, there are stark differences between this trial and Trump's impeachment a year ago. He joins us in Washington with the latest.
He will be the first president to undergo an impeachment trial after leaving office.
The managers on the part of the House of Representatives are here and present and ready to present the article of impeachment.
Former President Donald Trump's Senate trial is set to begin tomorrow, his second in as many years. He's facing a single article of impeachment which alleges he incited the January 6th riot on Capitol Hill. But there are key differences between this trial and the first, including that Trump is no longer president and therefore cannot be removed from office.
We're going to do our constitutional responsibility and hold a trial.
Many Republicans, however, arguing the trial is unconstitutional.
If you believe he committed a crime, he can be prosecuted like any other citizen. Impeachment is a political process.
Meanwhile, a new ABC News Ipsos poll shows a majority of Americans say Trump should be convicted this time and barred from holding federal office ever again. And this trial, unlike the last, is expected to focus less on witness testimony and more on video from the deadly insurrection. It would take 67 senators to vote to convict Trump, meaning Democrats would need the support of 17 Republicans to secure a conviction. Another contrast from Trump's first trial, when no Republicans voted to impeach. This time, 10 GOP House lawmakers crossed party lines, including Wyoming's Liz Cheney, who stands by that decision.
We have never seen that kind of an assault by a president of the United States on another branch of government, and that can never happen again.
And much like the first go-around, conviction is unlikely given the number of GOP senators who have already voted they believe the trial is unconstitutional. And this could be somewhat of a two-part process here. If enough senators vote to convict, then the chamber could hold a second vote that would potentially bar Trump from ever holding federal office again. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Well, here at home, this is the COVID-19 vaccine dose allocation to Bexar County for week 9. 10,000 of Moderna vaccines will go to Metro Health. 10,725 of the Pfizer vaccine will go to University Health System, and 5,850 of the Pfizer vaccine to WellMed. As of now, the state of Texas is still in phase 1A and 1B of distribution. For more information, check out KSAT.com.
Now to the latest on the investigation into two people being shot outside of a church. One of them, a 6-year-old boy. The other, a man who is now in critical condition. So this shooting happening on the east side, the 1000 block of W.W. White and Martin Luther King Drive. Police Chief William McManus tells us a man was hiding underneath a tree. He ambushed a car as it pulled into the Greater Faith Institutional Church during a church event. Police on the scene tell us the shooting appeared as though it was a targeted incident. They don't believe it was random.
All of the violence throughout the city is stepping over the line, but when you do it at a church event, that's pretty much unheard of, and we are going to stop at nothing to capture this individual.
Inside that vehicle that was ambushed, there was a woman, a man, and a 6-year-old boy. Police say the man in his 20s was the target, but the young 6-year-old boy was also shot. He was shot in the shoulder. He is expected to recover. That man, though, he's in critical condition.
Well, widow is sharing the legacy of her late husband, 27-year-old Officer Matthew Krupa. Krupa died on his way to work with Northeast Independent School District. A Dodge Charger pulled out in front of him, causing his Jeep to roll over. It was his second day with the school district, but he dedicated years to serving in law enforcement. He leaves behind his wife, Emily Krupa, and their 11th-month-old daughter, May.
He was an amazing father. You know, you could tell he just loved May, and he loved everyone he met, and he loved with his whole heart, and he wanted to do anything and everything for his daughter.
Emily says Matthew's parents will fly his body back to Pennsylvania, where he's from. She says their loved ones are raising money for May's future education. To see how you can help, visit this story on our website at KSAT.com.
Time now is 5:10, 52 degrees out.
Well, still ahead on GMSA, a company says it has listed the first 3D printed house in the U.S. for sale. We'll take a look.
Plus, why there's been such a problem with passwords regarding people investing in Bitcoin. We'll explain.
So 52 degrees outside, looking very beautiful, 5:10 this morning. Mike says, though, later this week, we're expecting a very cold front to come in. He'll explain when we come back. Well, you've probably heard about Bitcoin. We have told you stories of the rise in value and people losing passwords that could unlock millions and millions of dollars.
That's right. But now authorities in Germany, they have their own issues regarding a specific Bitcoin password. German prosecutors reportedly are holding about 1,700 Bitcoin that have been confiscated from a Bitcoin miner. But the man won't give them his password to unlock the cryptocurrency. The man was sentenced to jail. He has since served his term, maintaining his silence throughout, while police have repeatedly failed efforts to crack the code to access that more than 1,700 Bitcoin. And at recent Bitcoin price, that stash that he has, it's worth about $67.9 million. The Bitcoin miner, who is from Bavaria, was not named in the report, but he was sentenced to about 2 years in prison after installing Bitcoin mining software on other people's computers, using them to remotely build a sum of Bitcoin. All of this according to Reuters. Now, he reportedly kept his mined Bitcoin in a password-protected digital wallet. It's a common way to hold the digital currency, but without the password, there is no way to actually open that wallet. About $140 billion, yes, with a B, in Bitcoin, or about 20% of all Bitcoin, actually stranded in wallets because, get this, people forget their passwords. All of this according to the New York Times. As the cryptocurrency has ballooned in the last few months, locked out owners have watched the value climb. Bitcoin hitting $40,000 last month for the first time, then $41,000 before pulling back a little bit. All right, so speaking about the value and pulling back a little bit, it is just under $40,000. So we did the math. The 1,700 Bitcoin that is locked away without the password, worth about $67,065,000.
Okay, write your password down.
Time now, 5:15, 53 degrees out.
Still ahead, how at least one lawmaker is looking to more severely punish porch pirates who steal your stuff.
Trilogy for COPD.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn.
If you've been taking COPD sitting down, it's time to make a stand. Start a new day with Trilogy. No once daily COPD medicine has the power to treat COPD in as many ways as Trilogy. With 3 medicines and 1 inhaler, Trilogy helps people breathe easier and improves lung function. It also helps prevent future flare-ups. Trilogy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trilogy more than prescribed. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Take a stand and start a new day with Trilogy. Ask your doctor about once daily Trilogy and save at Trilogy.com.
In today's Tech Bites, a push to make porch piracy a felony. Arkansas lawmakers take up a bill this week to upgrade package snatching from a misdemeanor. They say increasing the penalty makes the crime easier to investigate. They also hope the stiffer penalty will be a deterrent. 3D printing technology now includes houses. The first ever 3D printed house is now for sale in New York. Construction costs about 50% less than traditionally built homes. The 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with garage is asking for about $300,000. $100,000. Now to the Super Bowl and the big winners on Twitter. It's probably no surprise that Bucs quarterback Tom Brady was the most mentioned player of Super Bowl 55. He was followed by teammate Rob Gronkowski. All 20 of the top U.S. trending searches on Google were about commercials, and The Weeknd was also up there. Have a great day.
So you got to give credit where credit is due. Anytime I ever want to bet on a sporting event, I'm going to our Samuel King.
Yeah, Samuel. Did you make money last night?
Yeah, well, I mean, you did too, though, Sarah. So you can ask both of us, Max.
Well, I was on the wrong end of this.
Yeah. Well, things looking pretty lucky here, or good, either way, however you want to call it here on the roads, things looking fine. Let's take a look at some travel times across here. In north side on 410 between I-10 and 35, 8 minutes each direction, good speed there. So that's looking fine. And then Bandera, a little bit of delays once you get south of 1604. So 12 minutes from 1604 to 410, 9 minutes heading the other way. And just for our friends up in Hayes County, just north of San Marcos, if you're on 35, heading southbound, there is a closure. There is a crash overnight, so they're still cleaning that up. So that has caused a closure up there. So that's something to watch out for. Again, that is north of San Marcos. And back here in San Antonio, 410 at Ingram, we mentioned that. Looks fine. And 16 at Wurzbach, or Bandera at Wurzbach, I should say. Looking all fine this morning, guys.
All right, well, looking at the cameras, beautiful out there. Crisp and clean. Mike, are we going to see like nice weather today, some sun?
A little bit of sun later on in the afternoon. By the way, Sam and I didn't get the pink/fuchsia memo.
I coordinate my tie when she walks in.
Yeah, pretty much. He has a drawer.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I thought about it, but.
So that's how it works on the weekends. Okay. Anyway, here's a shout out, all the farmers, and this picture taking advantage of the dry spell. Obviously, everybody could use a little bit of rain, but thanks to all the folks that work the land out there, of course. And yeah, not a bad pick. Well, it's a little out of focus, but we do have some fog, though. Randolph is showing a little bit of fog, and New Braunfels has now dropped to 2 miles visibility, and then a bit more further down to the southeast, Beeville, Gonzales, a little bit of fog, and even some around Rock Springs, Austin as well. So we got to watch out, obviously, in the next couple of hours for some of this fog to be a little bit thicker. All right, as far as seeing some sunshine today, especially out to the west, things will clear out from west to east, and I think we see more sunshine later on this afternoon, but a lot of clouds starting off this morning. Then the clouds come back in overnight, so start off with clouds. Sunshine in the afternoon tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we'll see some rain around here, and that's going to be going on pretty much throughout the day. 20-30% chance for some showers. Then Thursday is going to be the better chance for some rain showers and even a couple of thunderstorms around here. And the difference being going to be a lot colder. As a matter of fact, temperatures I think we're going to be dropping down throughout the day on Thursday. Friday, not bad. And then the weekend, we may have a couple of showers on Saturday. 32 below. It's gotten colder at International Falls. 8 below Minneapolis. I mean, it's just unbelievably cold up there. And of course, wind chill temperatures are approaching 50 degrees below zero right now in International Falls. Just let that soak in for a minute. So it feels 100 degrees colder basically than it does here in town right now between International Falls and here. Cold air stays up there to the north. We stay very warm all the way through the middle part of the week. And then Wednesday night, that front's going to be moving on through here. And temperatures, like I said, I think we start off a little milder early Thursday and drop down throughout the day into about the upper 40s. It's going to be chilly on Friday. And then Saturday cold as well. We get a secondary surge of that colder air coming on in here then by Sunday. So very cold. A couple of computer models may not even get out of the 30s on Sunday, upper 30s Sunday afternoon. 68 degrees today at noon, mostly cloudy skies, so we'll still have a lot of clouds hanging around here. Some sunshine later on this afternoon, especially to the west. A few more clouds hanging to the east. 74 for a high temperature. About the same tomorrow. Wednesday, we do have some showers around here. Wednesday night, the front moves on through, so we'll start off a little bit milder, and then I think we drop throughout the day down to the 40s. Get in the mid-30s Friday and mid-50s in the afternoon. A couple of showers on Saturday, a cold rain on Saturday, and then Sunday, Valentine's Day. Here's your public service announcement, gentlemen. It is Sunday, just to make sure. Temperatures, I think, are only going to be in the upper 30s. It's going to be cold Sunday.
Yeah, plan all Valentine's activities indoors, because
Good idea.
Outside, ooh.
And it's always fun to watch all the gentlemen lined up Saturday at the card.
Or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
All right, time now, 5:24, 53 degrees out.
Well, still ahead in your morning spotlight, why critics are raving over No Man's Land. Plus, a first look at a new comic crime thriller.
You may want to consider early retirement. I need work. I like work.
Nomadland is racking up the awards. Both the Toronto and London film critics groups named it the best film of the year and gave top actress honors to Frances McDormand. Writer-director Chloe Zhao won Best Director honors from the Toronto critics, and the London critics named her Screenwriter of the Year.
If you are experiencing NIA symptoms, I need you over here.
Little Fish is about an epidemic of memory loss, but it was shot before the current coronavirus pandemic. That left director Chad Hartigan grateful his stars, including Jack O'Connell, did something audiences now know all too well.
Watching it in the post-pandemic world, I thank God every day that Jack was wearing his mask correctly.
You always encouraged me to cause a spot of trouble. So, today's the day we finally set a bomb under this town for what they did to you.
Little Fish star Olivia Cooke is front and center in the first U.S. trailer for the comic crime thriller Pixie. She's seeking revenge and on the run with a pair of misfits, being pursued by a gang of criminal priests and nuns led by Alec Baldwin. Pixie opens in select U.S. theaters and on digital and VOD March 5th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
There's a lot to unpack.
That was a lot.
Yeah, all right, time now, 5:28, 53 degrees out.
Well, still ahead in our next half hour, there's still a lack of bipartisanship towards the Biden administration's COVID-19 relief package. What that means for the chances of another stimulus check.
Well, let's look back at some of the biggest moments during last night's game. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Monday, 5:31 this Monday morning, the day after the Super Bowl. So if you are awake with us, thank you so much for starting your day with us. We are starting off 53 degrees. Yesterday we started off a little bit cooler. Did you do anything before or after the Super Bowl, Sarah?
Yeah, I mowed the grass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some outdoor activities.
Had to get it done because, Mike, I know later in the week we're expecting some very chilly, maybe wet weather.
Yeah, we got some rain coming up here, which is fantastic news. And yes, we have much colder temperatures that are going to be moving on through. And the timing of it is kind of honing in on it now, because last week there was a lot of discrepancy between various computer models. At one point, we were all texting over the weekend, Adam and Justin and Sarah and Katie and I, and long-range computer models, one had us at 70 on Friday, another one had us at 40, and another one had us at 20 on Friday. All everything. Now, like I said, everything is kind of agreeing. 50 right now in town. Dew point at 48. A lot of humidity out there. Not much wind. And so with that scenario, we do have some fog to deal with. New Braunfels actually come up a little bit to 4 miles visibility. 5 still at Randolph and a little bit off to the east and southeast at Beeville. Some showing up out there at Rock Springs. So with all this humidity and not much of a breeze, again, we do have to watch out for a little bit of fog to form up this morning. Mountain Cedar is moderate. Mole Ash and Elm are all on the low side. And throughout the rest of today, a lot of clouds starting off. We will see some sunshine, especially off to the west, and then we'll start to clear out from west to east. 74 for a high temperature, so well above normal, a good 5-10 degrees above normal. Same thing tomorrow, basically the same thing on Wednesday, except we start to see some rain on Wednesday. So if you cut your grass, today and tomorrow is going to be a good day for it. And then much colder temperatures by the latter half of the week and going into the weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Sam King, the Traffic Authority. I love that title.
Yes. It's a grand title.
You need a cape to go with it.
A cape. Like a flourish. But you'll have plenty of time if you're heading out this morning. Things looking fairly good on the roads. Let's start here in the Medical Center area in Fredericksburg Road. 13-14 minutes each way at the fairly normal time there. So that is looking good between Huebner and Woodlawn. Looking at some times from across the region out west here, 19 minutes coming in on 90 from Castroville into downtown San Antonio. 17 minutes on 35 from Lytle. 28 minutes in the Pleasanton area on 37, 26 minutes on 35 from New Braunfels. And here's a look at the TransGuide cameras. Bandera at Wurzbach looking fine, as well as 1604 at Bandera. Smooth sailing this morning. Max, Sarah, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. Well, there has been an arrest made in an unusual theft that we told you back in December. San Antonio police say they've caught up with the man who stole more than $300,000 worth of military memorabilia. Our Katrina Weber is live from the scene of the crime along Loop 410 near Jones-Maltzberger Road. Good morning, Katrina. We understand police found a small piece of evidence that turned out to be a big clue in this case.
Well, good morning. That is right. Police say a set of fingerprints is what blew this whole thing open for them. Now, this case started with the theft of a truck and trailer from this motel. They belonged to a man who was moving across country and had plans to stay in San Antonio for only one night. Now, based on the charges against the suspect in this case, a 32-year-old Jose Lozano could end up spending many nights in jail. Police arrested him yesterday, the result of a nearly 2-month-long investigation. This started again with that theft back in December. The victim told police his stolen trailer was loaded with more than $300,000 in collectibles. Police later found the truck and trailer empty and abandoned. But the arrest affidavit says they also found a fingerprint, which they linked to Lozano. The affidavit says when investigators went to his home to talk to him, they noticed some of the stolen items in his backyard. Police then got a warrant, and they say they also recovered items from inside his home. Now, the affidavit says that they got back almost all of the man's stolen property. After getting a warrant for Lozano's arrest, they booked him into jail on a charge of theft of cargo. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. House Democratic leaders are expected to unveil legislation today that would provide millions of United States families with as much as $3,600 per child, all part of President Joe Biden's COVID-19 relief package.
If this legislation is passed by Congress, monthly installments could begin in July for 1 year, but that proposal, like others in the stimulus package, facing pushback from Republicans. CNN's John Lawrence reports.
The Biden administration says its COVID-19 relief package will help get people back to work.
I would expect that if this package is passed, that we would get back to full employment next year.
The $1.9 trillion bill also includes aid for small businesses struggling to stay afloat and families experiencing food insecurity.
We're operating in a time of historically low interest rates. This is a moment where the greatest risk we could take, as the president has said, is not the risk of doing too much, it's the risk of doing too little.
Despite President Joe Biden's hopes for bipartisanship, some Republicans are pushing back on the price tag of the bill.
It has all kinds of pork for local municipalities and states. It's all the special interest things that they've actually fought back on.
And claim they're being left out of the process.
Even if we come in good faith with at least 10 and more that would have joined us, and they say they don't care. So you've got that. It takes two to tango. Right now, I'm not sure we have the two to tango.
As the legislative efforts move forward, the Problem Solvers Caucus, a bipartisan group of House lawmakers, is pushing for the rapid passage of a $160 billion package that focuses on vaccine distribution. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, through this pandemic, families, businesses, and communities are dealing with the economic fallout. So to explain how our local economy in and around San Antonio is doing, the president and CEO of the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce joined us for our leading essay segment this last weekend.
That's right. We talked about a lot. We talked about the current state of San Antonio, the impact of the women's NCAA tournament in the Alamo City, and 2 new economic initiatives going on. Take a listen on what Richard Perez had to say.
Our One City initiative is an attempt to bring all of the players in the downtown area that are already in that space to come together and have a common vision for what we can do to help buoy, in particular, the downtown area and bring people back into the downtown area and get our blood pumping.
Yeah, that was just the One City initiative, one of the 2 initiatives we talked about, plus a bevy of other topics. You can watch the entire interview right now. Just head to the leading essay section of KSAT.com. We have our leading essay segment every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Fascinating and insightful leaders of our community to talk about timely issues. And speaking of the economy, the U.S. unemployment rate saw its first drop in 2 months, but there is still a struggle to bring back jobs. According to the most recent jobs report, jobless rate fell to 6.3% in January. That beat economists' expectations. 49,000 jobs added to the nation's economy last month. While that's good news, the country is still down nearly 10 million jobs since before the pandemic. The Congressional Budget Office predicts the labor market may not return to its pre-pandemic levels until 2024.
Well, a skier rescued from a bear attack. It was caught all on camera. The man was skiing with two friends in the backcountry of Alaska when he was mauled by a bear. His friends were able to call for help, and the Coast Guard crew were able to take the man to the hospital by helicopter. The man was responsive and talking during the rescue. The Coast Guard crew said the skiers had a GPS device and a brightly colored fabric to signal the helicopter, which were crucial to their rescue mission.
Time now is 5:40, 53 degrees out.
Up next, a recap of last night's big Super Bowl win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And before we head to break, a live look out at the Alamo City. 53 degrees out there now. What is the rest of the day? What does the week look like? We're going to check with Mike Osterhage after the break. Good morning and welcome back, and happy Monday. At 43 years old, Tom Brady has now accomplished something that not many people could have predicted. He won his record 7th Super Bowl, 2 more than any other player in NFL history.
But of all the Super Bowls he's won, this was Brady's most lopsided win. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the story.
This morning, quarterback Tom Brady further solidifying his legendary career.
I think we knew this was going to happen tonight, didn't we?
Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl ring. That's more than any other team in the NFL, and his first with his new team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
How about that?
Announcer jinxes. Here's Brady's pass. It's Gronkowski.
Brady hoisting that Super Bowl trophy after dominating the Kansas City Chiefs, cruising to a 31-9 victory.
They beat us pretty good. The worst I think I've been beaten in a long time.
The Bucs defense shutting down the Chiefs' powerhouse offense and sending superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes scrambling. Brady throwing 2 passes to his favorite target, Rob Gronkowski. The duo entering the record books, surpassing Joe Montana and Jerry Rice for Super Bowl touchdowns. Then Brady named Super Bowl MVP for the 5th time. Brady spent the first 20 years of his career with the New England Patriots. Overnight, the team tweeting, "Congratulations to the greatest of all time."
Is this the crowning achievement?
I'm not putting any, making any comparisons. Being down here and experiencing it with this group of guys is every year is amazing. And this team is world champions forever. You can't take it away from us.
The Bucs coach, Bruce Arians, is now the oldest head coach to win a Super Bowl at 68 years old. And Brady, the oldest ever to play in a Super Bowl at 43, assuring fans he'll be back.
And there's more to come, right, Tom? There's more to come as far as football.
Yeah, we're coming back.
We're coming back.
You know that.
Coming back. Tom Brady's coming back.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
How many more seasons do you think, Max?
At least 40. He's going to play at least till 45 because he's got one more season locked into Tampa. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon.
Man, that's crazy.
Good for him. All right, speaking of 45, 5:45 this morning, 53 degrees out.
Well, coming up next, a closer look at how popular conspiracy theories make it into the mainstream.
Good morning and welcome back. Over the course of the past several years, we've been hearing more about a unique conspiracy theory known as QAnon.
This week's episode of KSAT Explains explores how these theories make it into the mainstream. Myra Arthur gives us a preview.
An increase in political polarization, mistrust in institutions, a huge megaphone provided by the internet. All of these factors have created an environment for conspiracies to run rampant.
When that trust is lost, there's kind of an information gap, I suppose, which really allows misinformation and misleading claims to thrive.
And on January 6th, the threat these groups can pose was highlighted.
Procedure and decorum in Congress shattered today when a peaceful protest turned into a siege when some Trump supporters pushed through barricades and stormed the Capitol.
Many followers of the online movement were among those who participated in that deadly riot.
Federal law enforcement officials dropping the hammer down on some of the more visible alleged rioters, including this horn-helmed, face-painted, spear-wielding man, Jacob Chansley, self-described as the QAnon shaman.
But the Capitol riot is not the first time an online conspiracy has posed an offline threat.
There were instances in the preceding years of individuals who subscribed to QAnon either plotting or in some cases successfully carrying out acts of violence.
And the rise in these types of movements is leaving people wondering, what's going on?
A lot of times these things boil down to a person has a gap in his or her life, can't explain that gap, and this either conspiracy theory or this pseudoscientific belief fills that gap and supplies them with that emotional support that they just were not getting otherwise.
This episode of KSAT Explains, we're looking into the growing rise in extremism across the world, the role social media plays in censorship, and how fringe theories make it to the forefront.
And they do such amazing work, KSAT Explains. They just talked about congressional districts, now talking about conspiracy theories. Great stuff over there. All right, speaking of great work for KSAT, we have our Samuel King. How's it looking out there?
Things looking mostly fine this morning, Max and Sarah. Let's take a look here. We do have a bit of a slowdown, or we did just a few minutes ago at San Pedro at Loop 410, but that looks to be improving. 25 minutes right there at the intersection and 26 minutes out there by the airport. So that's something to watch out for this morning. Take a closer look at I-10, 24 minutes each way between downtown and Bernie. Once you're inside, 1604, 11 minutes heading downtown to 1604, 13 minutes heading from 1604 to downtown. Again, we have this closure up in Hays County. This is north of San Marcos. Again, 35 shut down there southbound. Only one lane getting by there, looks like, as you get closer to San Marcos. Earlier crash overnight. They're still cleaning up. And back here in San Antonio, I-10 at Callahan. That looks fine. 410 at Fredericksburg. You can see traffic starting to pick up a little bit, guys.
Thank you, Samuel. And you have a beautiful sunrise photo behind you. Or is that sunset? I can't even tell.
I think it's a sunset,
Yeah.
It looks like. Golden hour, which, well, could be either end of the sun. But, yeah, absolutely beautiful out there. Sunrise this morning, don't think it's going to be that fantastic. We'll have a fairly decent sunset tonight, just because, especially off to the west, just because we're going to start to clear out late this afternoon. Nothing as far as visibility problems, except for kind of an out-of-focus camera lens there. And as far as any fog, New Braunfels still at 4 miles, but Randolph, it's not reporting anything right now. Beeville has also improved. Same thing, Victoria, although Rock Springs now has dropped down. So a little bit of fog out there in parts of the hill country. 71 for a high temperature yesterday, 81 in Cotulla. And today we are looking at mid to sometimes even upper 70s around the area, well above normal by a good, anywhere, say, 7 to 10 degrees. And that's going to be the situation tomorrow. That's going to be the situation on Wednesday as well. Here's the clouds that are showing up right now. And like I said, we'll start to see a little bit of clearing later on this afternoon. And really around the country, I mean, just looking at the satellite picture, yeah, there are some areas of snow up there around the Great Lakes, but this doesn't really jump off the map all that much. Now let's switch over to the temperatures. 32 below right now is the actual air temperature in International Falls. Negative numbers as far south as Omaha, single digits Chicago, and then you factor in the wind. So it feels like 2 below in Wichita, feels like 47 degrees below in International Falls. Wind chill temperatures of 30, 40, 50 below zero are going to be just sitting over here over the northern portion of the United States. And then on the flip side of it, we feel 100 degrees warmer than it feels in International Falls right now. So the cold air is going to be staying up to the north. We stay mild, like I said, for the next couple of days. Then Wednesday night into Thursday is when that front's going to move on through here. Temperatures will drop down throughout the day on Thursday, and it'll stay cool in through Friday, Saturday. Then we get another surge of colder air coming in here on Sunday. So it'll be even Sunday looks like it's going to be the coldest day of the next 7. So 68 degrees today at noon, mostly cloudy skies, and then later on this afternoon, a little more sunshine, especially off to the west. I think we see a decent sunset. 74 high temperatures, same thing tomorrow, same thing on Wednesday, although we will have some rain around on Wednesday. Front moves through, and actually it's going to touch off a couple of thunderstorms around, and then we'll see temperatures drop throughout the day on Thursday, 55 Friday, but only 37 on Sunday. It'll be cold.
Thank you, Mike. Time now is 5:53, 53 degrees out.
Take a look at these lotto numbers. Pick 3, 7, 4, 1, Fireball 7. Daily 4, 1, 4, 6, 8, Fireball 5.
Cash 5, 5, 6, 15, 17, 34. Lotto Texas 2, 9, 19, 32, 34, 44. And your Powerball 1, 16, 48, 49, 65. Powerball 8. Power Play 2. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we are live from Tampa. They are still celebrating this morning after winning the Super Bowl. Tom Brady led his new team to the title, the 7th for him. We're going to talk to one of his teammates, Levante David, about the message that Brady sent his team that could have helped them win the big game. Plus, we'll have more on the weekend's stunning halftime show and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
And back here at home, we want to remind you, our KSAT community partner, University Health, hosting a blood drive this month. It's happening on February 18th and 19th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Whitty Museum on Broadway. If you have any questions or you want to participate, we have all that info. Just head to ksatcommunity.com. And time now is 5:57, 53 degrees out. Is there such a thing as perfect timing? Still ahead on GMSA, we're going to look at the science behind the perfect answers when it comes to eating, working out, or even getting married. And taking a quick live look out at the roadways. When we check in with Samuel King, he's going to tell us there's a lot of green on the screen, what you need to know before you head out the door.
San Antonio police say one woman is in the hospital this morning after crashing into a landfill. We'll find out what caused that crash.
Meanwhile, officers still searching for who's responsible after a shooting outside a church. Now, a man and a 6-year-old are trying to recover from being shot.
Taking a look outside with live cam, beautiful 53 degrees at 6 o'clock this morning. There's been a lot of speculation about how cold it's going to get later in the week on social media. Mike will clear things up for us in just a bit.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for starting your day with us. It is Monday, February 8th, the Monday after the Super Bowl. I consider it a holiday.
It really should be a holiday. You know, it's not fair.
That's true. Well, we were out here dark and early, 3:30 this morning. Not too cold out there. Yesterday was gorgeous. So, Mike, what can we expect for the rest of the day?
Well, we are starting off with a lot of humidity. It's very warm this morning, a lot of clouds, too, and there has been some fog in parts of the area. Right now here in town, not too bad. Now, New Braunfels was just at 4 miles visibility 10 minutes ago. Now it's back down to 1.75 miles in the metropolitan area. It's not bad. Beeville at 4 miles, and Rock Springs has also dropped down. So just a couple little patches here and there, but watch out for that. And where there's fog, there may be a little mist on the roads on top of that. Mountain Cedar's moderate, low amounts of everything else, but we're starting to see that laundry list of some spring allergens out there. Temperatures are going to be steady this morning with the cloud cover, with the high humidity. That keeps temperatures very consistent and very steady, and obviously it doesn't allow things to drop down. So we're starting off about 10 degrees above normal, and then we'll be up to 68 degrees, already above normal for a high temperature at noon. We top off in the mid 70s. Same thing the next couple of days, 50s, mid 70s, and then the big front's going to move through Wednesday night. So Thursday is going to be a whole different story. We'll have some rain around Wednesday as well as on Thursday, but much colder temperatures. And boy, wait till you see what it's going to look like on Valentine's Day. It's going to be cold and then some. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Samuel King, Traffic Authority, and well, that doesn't look bad over there at 410 Calabria.
Right, we had some construction out there this morning, Mike, but things are flowing pretty smoothly across the area right now. Let's take a look at 151 in that area. That's kind of where that construction was. 10 minutes now from 604 to 90, 8 minutes going the other way, so traffic building there a little bit. Looking across the region, if you're coming in from Castroville on 90 into downtown San Antonio, or close to it at least, 19 minutes, 24 minutes on I-10 from Bernie, 17 minutes on 35 from Lytle. Moving to the north and east, 26 minutes coming in from New Braunfels to San Antonio on 35, 29 minutes on I-10 in from Seguin. Max, Sarah, over to you.
Samuel, new this morning, one woman in the hospital after police tell us she was rear-ended on the highway and crashed into a landfill. Police tell us it happened around 2:15 this morning on eastbound I-10. They say a man rear-ended the woman driving, causing her to drive off the highway. Police say that she then crashed through a fence and into a landfill, taken to a nearby hospital. Police do tell us she is expected to be okay. Meanwhile, the man who they believe is responsible is facing charges of driving while intoxicated.
Well, police are also investigating what led up to a crash in southeast Bexar County. Police say a driver rolled over in his vehicle and crashed into some trees. It happened around 1:15 this morning at I-37 and Southton Road. Police say he is currently in custody and facing charges of driving while intoxicated.
And San Antonio police say a woman accused of robbing a Cricket wireless store has been arrested. Police tell us it happened back on January 19th at the store on Roosevelt and Loop 410 on the south side, according to the arrest affidavit. It also reads that 25-year-old Ayanna Tunstall pointed a handgun at the sales representative at the store, demanded the person fill the bag with cell phones. Police say similar robberies of Cricket wireless stores in Austin helped them identify the suspect. She is now facing charges of aggravated robbery.
San Antonio police are still looking for a shooter this morning who they say targeted a man outside of a church. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says a man hiding under a nearby tree ambushed a car as it pulled into Greater Faith Institutional Church during a church event near W.W. White and Martin Luther King Drive yesterday. He says one man was shot and a 6-year-old boy was also shot. 2 people outside a church on Sunday, one of those being a 6-year-old boy. Police say the shooting was a targeted incident and don't believe it was random.
All of the violence throughout the city is stepping over the line, but when you do it at a church event, that's pretty much unheard of, and we are going to stop at nothing to capture this individual.
Police say the man in his 20s was the target, but the young 6-year-old boy who was also shot in the incident, that child is expected to recover from the wound to his shoulder, but the man is in critical condition.
A widow now sharing the legacy of her late husband, 27-year-old Officer Matthew Krupa. Now, Krupa died on his way to work with Northeast Independent School District. A Dodge Charger pulled out in front of him, causing his Jeep to roll over. It was his second day with the school district, but he dedicated years to serving in law enforcement. He leaves behind his wife, Emily, and their 11-month-old daughter, May.
He was an amazing father. You know, you could tell he just loved May, and he loved everyone he met, and he loved with his whole heart, and he wanted to do anything and everything for his daughter.
Emily says Matthew's parents will fly his body back to Pennsylvania, where he's from. She says their loved ones are raising money for May's future education. To see how you can help out, we have this story and so much more. Just head to KSAT.com.
Well, to the pandemic, local health officials report 739 new cases of COVID-19 in Bexar County. 3 more people have died from this virus. Fewer than 1,000 people are in the hospital as well. Mayor Ron Nirenberg and Judge Nelson Wolff will give an update tonight, including what the new positivity rate should be.
Now to the latest on the vaccine. More COVID-19 vaccines are headed to Bexar County this week. 10,000 Moderna vaccines will be headed to Metro Health. 10,725 Pfizer vaccine doses will be going to University Health System, and 5,850 of the Pfizer vaccine to WellMed. As of right now, the state of Texas is still in phase 1A and 1B of distribution. For more information on the incoming doses, just head to KSAT.com.
Well, there's new data on the contagious UK variant of the coronavirus spreading through the U.S. It comes amid signs of real progress in hospitals from coast to coast. ABC's Mona Khazar Abdi has the latest.
This morning, positive signs in the fight against COVID. A 4-week downward trend in cases has resulted in a 50% drop in infections since the peak on January 8th. And for the first time since November 2nd, the country is reporting fewer than 100,000 daily cases. The vaccine rollout slowly gaining momentum. 9% of Americans have now received at least 1 shot, and Pfizer is ramping up production of its vaccine, cutting the time it takes to make a batch from 110 days to just 60. But this morning, variants of the virus are threatening progress. South Africa has now suspended use of AstraZeneca's vaccine after data showed it gives only minimal protection against mild to moderate sickness caused by the South African variant of the virus. And in the U.S., a new study not yet peer-reviewed suggests cases of the highly contagious UK variant are potentially doubling every 10 days.
It does show that we have likely more of the variants floating around in our population. That could explain why we may still see some more surges in the future.
In the meantime, some progress in getting kids back to class. In Chicago, the teachers union and the city reaching a tentative deal to bring some students and teachers back to in-person learning this week. And in San Francisco, a tentative agreement could have kids back in public schools soon after learning remotely since last March. Teachers unions have demanded teachers be vaccinated before kids return. But the CDC director last week said schools can safely reopen before teachers are vaccinated. As early as this Wednesday, the CDC is expected to release official guidance on reopening schools. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
There is a push to make porch piracy a felony. Arkansas lawmakers will take up a bill this week to upgrade package snatching from a misdemeanor. They say increasing the penalty makes the crime easier to investigate. They also hope the stiffer the penalty will also make a difference.
And we've probably heard about 3D printers before, but now 3D technology includes houses. The first ever 3D printed house is now for sale in New York. Construction costs were cut about 50% less than traditionally built homes. The 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with garage, it was, 3D manufactured, but it also has a pretty high cost, $300,000.
I watched a video where they made a 3D building and they pour concrete. It was 6 minutes. I watched the whole thing. It was mesmerizing.
It's time now, 6:10, 54 degrees out.
Well, one local teen is taking a cross-state journey to pick up trash, but we'll see how he is foregoing the car and choosing a different set of wheels instead.
And chances are you probably heard about Bitcoin, but there are stories about Bitcoin that are going unnoticed. After the break, we're going to hear about a man who is not cooperating with authorities about his cryptocurrency.
54 degrees at 6:10 this morning. Pretty moderate temperatures this morning. Mike says things will warm up later in the day, but he'll talk about that cold front that's coming on later in the week when we come back. Well, you've probably heard about Bitcoin. We have told you stories of the rise in value and people losing passwords that can unlock millions and millions of dollars. Now authorities in Germany are having their own issues regarding a Bitcoin password.
That's right. German prosecutors reportedly are holding about 1,700 Bitcoin confiscated from a Bitcoin miner, but the man won't give up his password to unlock the cryptocurrency. German prosecutors reportedly are holding about 1,700 Bitcoin that have been confiscated from a Bitcoin miner. But the man won't give them his password to unlock the cryptocurrency. The man was sentenced to jail. He has since served his term, maintaining his silence throughout, while police have repeatedly failed efforts to crack the code to access that more than 1,700 Bitcoin. And at recent Bitcoin price, that stash that he has, it's worth about $67.9 million. The Bitcoin miner, who is from Bavaria, was not named in the report, but he was sentenced to about 2 years in prison after installing Bitcoin mining software on other people's computers, using them to remotely build a sum of Bitcoin. All this according to Reuters. Now, he reportedly kept his mined Bitcoin in a password-protected digital wallet. It's a common way to hold the digital currency, but without the password, there is no way to actually open that wallet. About $140 billion, yes, with a B, in Bitcoin, or about 20% of all Bitcoin, actually stranded in wallets because, get this, people forget their passwords. All this according to the New York Times. As the cryptocurrency has ballooned in the last few months, locked out owners have watched the value climb. Bitcoin hitting $40,000 last month for the first time, then $41,000 before pulling back a little bit. All right, so there you go. We know last month it hit 41,000. So doing the quick math here, we did it earlier today. As of latest update, as of this morning, it's about 39,000. So that's 1,700 Bitcoins. It's stuck. Not able to get to prosecutors. It's worth about $67 million.
That's expensive.
Good morning. All right, good morning to everyone out there. 6:16 this morning. Samuel King, how's it look out there?
Looks fine. Looks better than them looking for $67 million. That's for sure. But again, things are looking fairly well. Have a little bit of a delay here on 90, and we'll take a closer look at that coming up. First here at Bandera Road, looking good right now. So if you need to head out in this part of town, 9 minutes heading 604 to 410, 10 minutes the other way. So this is the time to head out if you need to go. Looking at 37 between 1604 and downtown, 12 minutes each direction. Again, if you're in the southeast side of town, again, another good time to head out. And looking here, once you get downtown, 37 at Houston, traffic flowing pretty well, guys.
All right. I like this quad box. I'm not used to it on the weekends. It's cool.
Brady
So
bunch?
we go from, hold on, from here
look and look.
to there. Mike, how's it look out there?
Whoops, I got to look this way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's very warm, very humid. Got a little bit of fog around the area, and you really don't have to, warm up your car at all. A light jacket's not a bad idea. I mean, temperatures are in the 40s and 50s right now. Plus, with all that humidity, it's kind of that dampish cool out there that makes it feel sometimes a lot colder. And then 74 for a high temperature later on today. Partly cloudy skies, so we will see some sunshine, especially about San Antonio West late this afternoon. Here's another reminder, gentlemen, and we'll take a beautiful shot of Mom's roses.
Aww.
Isn't that pretty? Don't forget to go on out, get some flowers, gentlemen. This is part of our ongoing public service approaching Valentine's. So just a reminder. You paying attention, Max?
Yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready for a month.
Okay.
I don't mess around with these things.
Just making sure. Lots of clouds right now, and visibility, it's really dropped down in New Braunfels now, down to just 3/4 of a mile, and that's some of the thickest fog out there. Right behind that's Rock Springs at just a mile, and then a little bit around Beeville. So again, watching around New Braunfels and even heading up in toward Austin this morning, and that may tend to spread just a little bit as well. So we've got really, really high dew point temperatures, and they're going to stay high for the next couple of days. So we're mild mornings, warm afternoons, and we hit Wednesday, and that's when the rain starts in here. So at least some of that humidity is going to get squeezed out. But then look what happens going into Thursday and Friday as the front moves on through here. We are really going to dry out going into Friday. A little bit of a return on Saturday, and this model is showing a dew point of -9, which that's going to be interesting to see if we get down that low, but that's almost unheard of to have that dry air around here. But it is a cold, cold air mass that's going to be moving on in. So right now it's 36 below in International Falls. That's the air temperature. That doesn't even take into account the wind. Then you factor in the wind, and it is, well, actually they don't have any breeze right now, but the wind chill was down to 47 below just last half hour. It feels like 21 below in Omaha, and even as far south as Wichita. 3 degrees below zero is the wind chill, but then we're sitting here at 53 as of right now. You look at the upper level winds, and obviously there's that cold batch of air, and it sort of stays up there. And basically, just looking at this, we've got this zonal pattern. Now, we don't even really see any drop in this big mass of cold air. What's happening, though, is this is upstairs in the atmosphere. Down at the surface is where the cold air is coming in, and it's a very shallow layer of cold air, and that's why models weren't really handling this too well in the past couple of days. Now, as we go into Saturday, though, late Saturday, Sunday, we get more of this cold air coming down in here, and that's when we really start to see a pretty good surge of that colder air moving on in. So this is what it looks like for the next couple of days. We stay on the mild side around here. There's the cold air. Then the front moves through Wednesday night into Thursday. Temperatures, I think, are going to be dropping down throughout the day on Thursday. We start off in the, say, mid-50s early and then make it down to the mid to upper 40s by late in the day with some more rain around here. Rain Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, it's going to be a chilly day. Saturday as well. But then here comes that next surge of colder air coming in here, and that's going to be Saturday into Sunday. And Sunday's going to be a really, really cold day. So today, anything but that. It's 68 degrees at noon, mostly cloudy skies. High temperature up to 74. We'll start to see partly cloudy skies. More clouds east, more clearing off to the west later on. And then tomorrow we'll cloud up overnight, start off with clouds in the morning. Then we'll start to clear out by the afternoon at mid to upper 70s. 75 on Wednesday. We have some showers around here. The front moves through late. It's going to be windy on Thursday. Showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures drop throughout the day. So we'll start off in the 50s, go down to the 40s. 55 on Saturday. Sunday, going for 37 degrees. That's when we get that secondary surge of cold air moving on in here. So it's going to be cold.
A lot of Valentine's Day reservations going to be moved inside.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, move the Valentine's inside.
And we're complaining about 37, but I'll take it over the negative 37 they're having up north.
Well, yeah, think about it. 70 degrees warmer. Just put it in perspective like that.
Yeah.
Good observation.
Just be positive.
Thank you, Mike. 621, 54 degrees out.
Well, police are investigating the son of Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid after he was involved in a car crash that injured 2 children. Find out more in today's GMA First Look.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a medium coffee. Win with Circle K and GMSA.
Hi, so you're the scientist here. Does my Aveeno Daily Moisturizer really make my dry skin healthier in one day?
It's true, Jen. This prebiotic oat formula moisturizes to help prevent dry skin.
Impressive. Aveeno. Healthy. It's our nature. Try the body wash, too.
Every glass of Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice has a million little sips of sunshine. It's 100% of your daily vitamin C and 100% delicious, making every moment in the morning brighter. Tropicana. Sip your sunshine.
This Valentine's Day, find the gift that makes your love shine even brighter. It's the Valentine's Day gifting event. Get 25% off everything. Sales.
Ready to take your immune support to the next level? Nature's Bounty is here for you. The #1 herbal supplement brand has everything you need to help keep your immune system strong. Immune support comes naturally with Nature's Bounty.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the tragedy before the Super Bowl.
EMS arriving on scene, we have 1 child possibly seriously injured.
According to police reports obtained by ESPN, Britt, who is also an outside linebackers coach for his dad's team, hit 2 cars pulled over on an on-ramp near the Chiefs' facility Thursday night, 3 days before the Super Bowl. A 4-year-old and a 5-year-old in one of the cars rushed to the hospital. 5-year-old Ariel Young suffering life-threatening injuries. This morning in critical condition with a brain injury.
Critical injuries, I heard. Do we need to shut the highway down?
According to the report, one officer said he could smell a moderate odor of alcoholic beverages emanating from Reid after the accident, and that Reid advised he had 2 to 3 drinks and was on Adderall. Complaining of stomach pain, he was taken to the hospital with undisclosed injuries. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have a live report from Missouri with the very latest. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, Kansas City.
Well, back here at home, a 16-year-old is so passionate about skateboarding, he's planning to skateboard across Texas. Ezra Reagan has been skateboarding since he was a small kid. He's an endurance skateboarder who is now putting his long rides to the test this summer. He wants to skate 800 miles, not only for fun, but to pick up trash along the way.
It's a lot about kind of what I've heard Elon Musk say. It's just right now is the best time to be ambitious and just find your passion and go with it, really.
Reagan hopes to make the big trip in May, and his conditioning to travel at least 100 miles a day. He tells us that he hopes others will join his mission of keeping the roads clean across the Lone Star State. To read more about his story and others featured on What's Up South Texas, visit our website, KSAT.com.
And time now is 6:27, 54 degrees out.
Well, the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump is expected to start this week. We will learn more about how the trial will move forward.
And Tom Brady, terrific Tom, once again another ring, another Super Bowl MVP, 7th Super Bowl win, this time with Tampa Bay. With the highlights after the break.
This motel was the scene of a crime last year that now has a man in jail. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
And coming up, the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. I'm Andrew Dimbert in Washington, D.C. with more on what to expect.
And back here at home, taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 54 degrees to start your Monday morning. 2 seasons in 1 week. We're going to check in with Mike Osterhage in just a few moments. Good morning. It is 6:31 this Monday, February 8th. Thank you so much for joining us today. Like we said at 6 o'clock, it is the day after the Super Bowl. I should consider it a national holiday.
What do we need to do to make this happen? Because, I mean, people love to take off, call in sick. It's usually a struggle bus morning for a lot of people waking up. So thank you guys for waking up with us this morning. And Mike, you know, a couple weeks ago I asked you, okay, are we done seeing these freezing temperatures? But you called February squirrely. We're definitely seeing squirrely temps later this week.
You just read my mind. I was going to say the exact same thing. Yeah, we always have, you know, something kind of odd coming in February, and that's definitely going to be the situation where, and you saw the banner there, and that was my push this morning, 2 seasons this week. It is spring right now, and then it's going to be winter, and maybe even some of the coldest temperatures we've seen in town so far this season. 53 right now, dew points at 50, so these numbers are running neck and neck. Relative humidity, of course, is very high. No wind right now. Got a cloud cover out there, and with that high humidity and cloud cover, that's like a blanket, and plus we can't drop down below what the dew point temperature is, so that's why it is so mild out there. And as a matter of fact, well, Randolph was at 10 miles visibility at last check, and now it's down to 4. And New Braunfels has really dropped down as well, down to a quarter-mile visibility. Rock Springs at 1 mile, and Beeville at 5 miles. So you got to watch it if you're going up I-35 in and around New Braunfels this morning, and just watch it for the next couple of hours, because we're not going to see any real significant changes even through the rest of the morning commute and even into mid-morning. Temperatures very consistent around the area in the low to mid 50s, even out into portions of the hill country. Mountain Cedars moderate, low amounts of everything else. And today, warm and humid. We'll have a couple of showers on Wednesday. So this is the first half of the week. Warm, humid, showers Wednesday. Front moves through late Wednesday night, so we'll still have some rain around Thursday. It is going to be very windy on Thursday and much colder temperatures. We'll probably see temperatures drop down throughout the day on Thursday. Then we get into the weekend. We'll have a couple of showers around on Saturday, kind of a cold rain on Saturday. And it's going to be even colder on Sunday. Some of the latest numbers, some computer model numbers, have it very cold on Sunday. Details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Hitting the roads right now, your traffic authority, Samuel King, and, well, Lieutenant Callahan.
Yeah.
Looks good. So
things. Yeah, wanted to show off these cameras. See traffic starting to build, Mike, but we're not really having a lot of incidents at the moment. So that's a good thing. Taking a look at the big map, a lot of green, some orange here or there, but things looking fairly well. Let's go to the south side real quick. This is a military out near Lackland. You can see 7 minutes from 35 to Old Pearsall, 7 minutes heading the other way too. So things looking fine there. And let's take a look at some of the travel times from around the region. 26 minutes. You heard Mike mention a fog up in the New Braunfels area, but that travel time looking good on 35 into San Antonio right now. 29 minutes from Seguin, 29 minutes from the Floresville area into downtown San Antonio as well. Max, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. A truckload of stolen items is adding up to a boatload of trouble for a local man now facing charges in connection to a theft of last year that involved more than $300,000 worth of property. Katrina Weber live at the scene of the crime near Loop 410 and Jones-Maltzberger Road. Katrina, you mentioned earlier that the victim was actually just passing through San Antonio when this all happened.
That's right. He was on his way to California. That man says that he spent the night at this motel and woke up to find his truck and trailer missing, along with a whole collection of military memorabilia. Well, San Antonio police now believe that 32-year-old Jose Lozano is the man who was caught on camera at this motel driving off with the victim's property. And they say they found fingerprints and more to prove that. The victim shared his story with us when it happened back in December. He was moving across country when he stopped off and spent the night at the motel, leaving his truckload of treasures parked right outside. Police believe Lozano drove off in the truck, then left it and the trailer empty and abandoned. Investigators say they found fingerprints on the trailer that belonged to Lozano. When they went to his home to talk to him, they say they found some of the stolen property in his backyard and more inside his home. Well, they ended up getting a warrant last week for Lozano's arrest and then took him into custody yesterday on a charge of theft of cargo. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Well, the Senate impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump is set to begin this week. He is facing a lone article of impeachment which states he incited the deadly January 6th riot on Capitol Hill.
But as ABC's Andrew Dimbert explains, there is a stark difference between this trial and the trial that happened a year ago.
And good morning. Trump's defense team has already indicated that Trump will not testify. In fact, impeachment managers aren't expected to be relying on witness testimony, instead focusing their efforts on videos from the Capitol riot to try and plead their case. He will be the first president to undergo an impeachment trial after leaving office.
The managers on the part of the House of Representatives are here and present and ready to present the article of impeachment.
Former President Donald Trump's Senate trial is set to begin tomorrow, his second in as many years. He's facing a single article of impeachment which alleges he incited the January 6th riot on Capitol Hill. But there are key differences between this trial and the first, including that Trump is no longer president and therefore cannot be removed from office.
We're going to do our constitutional responsibility and hold a trial.
Many Republicans, however, arguing the trial is unconstitutional.
If you believe he committed a crime, he can be prosecuted like any other citizen. Impeachment is a political process.
Meanwhile, a new ABC News Ipsos poll shows a majority of Americans say Trump should be convicted this time and barred from holding federal office ever again. And this trial, unlike the last, is expected to focus less on witness testimony and more on video from the deadly insurrection. It would take 67 senators to vote to convict Trump, meaning Democrats would need the support of 17 Republicans to secure a conviction. And this could be somewhat of a two-part process here. If enough senators vote to convict, then the chamber could hold a second vote that would potentially bar Trump from ever holding federal office again. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
In your morning headline, South Africa officials are pausing the country's rollout of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Health officials say the vaccine shows minimal protection against the virus from the variant first identified there. Currently, both the company and Oxford University are working to test and improve the strand against the variant.
And the Biden administration is planning to rejoin the United Nations Human Rights Council. That's according to the Associated Press. Reports say the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, and another senior U.S. diplomat will make the announcement later today. Former President Donald Trump pulled the United States out of the council 3 years ago. This move is expected to draw criticism from conservative lawmakers and the pro-Israel community.
Well, through this pandemic, families, businesses, and communities are dealing with the economic fallout. So to explain how our local economy in and around San Antonio is doing, the president and CEO of the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce joined us this weekend in our Leading Essay segment.
That's right. We talked about a lot. We talked about the current state of the San Antonio economy, the impact of the women's NCAA tournament coming to the Alamo City, and 2 new economic initiatives going on. Take a listen to what Richard Perez had to say.
Our One City initiative is an attempt to bring all of the players in the downtown area that are already in that space to come together and have a common vision for what we can do to help buoy, in particular, the downtown area and bring people back into the downtown area and get our blood pumping.
Now, he was referring to the One City initiative that is going on right now. And you can watch the entire interview right now. Just head to the Leading Essay section of KSAT.com. We have our Leading Essay segment. Every Sunday morning, 8 a.m., we have fascinating and insightful leaders of our community to talk about some of the timeliest issues. And time now, just about 6:40, 54 degrees out.
Is there such a thing as perfect timing? Well, after the break, we will see if science has its answers about when to eat, work out, or even get married.
They say timing is everything. You might want to tie the knot between ages 25 and 32. A person who weds at age 25 is 11% less likely to divorce than someone who marries at age 24. But marrying after 32 also ups your risk for divorce. When's the best time to be productive? For most people, it's an hour after they wake up, and it lasts for about 2 hours. You might also want to work out in the morning. Studies show morning exercisers have less of an appetite throughout the day.
So the meeting is organized in a way that
Investigators analyzed more than 2 million responses and found the best time for a company meeting is 2:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's not too early and not too late in the week or the day. What about when to eat? The best time to eat breakfast is 7:11 a.m., lunch is 12:38 p.m., and dinner is 6:14 p.m. Regularly sitting down to dinner after 8 p.m. can add an extra 2 inches to your waistline. Timing is also a factor when delivering news to someone. Studies show about 4 out of 5 people prefer to begin with a negative outcome and end on a positive note. So dish the bad news before the good news. Erica Fernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Pro football coverage powered by.
All right, it was a new
Davis
team, a new city, a new division, also a season in a pandemic. But Tom Brady did what he always does, especially at a Super Bowl. He won. If you didn't know, now you know. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9 yesterday. The Bucs defense did what we all thought was impossible, shutting down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. They didn't score a single touchdown. Meanwhile, Tom Brady throwing 3 of his own. 7th Super Bowl, 5th Super Bowl MVP, also broke his own record as the oldest player to play in a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, the second quarterback to ever win the big game with multiple teams.
This has been an amazing year. Amazing year. We got off to a good start, 7-2, and then had a little rough stretch where we kind of found our identity. And just really proud of all the guys, proud of all the coaches, the effort we put in. We knew we were playing a great football team tonight, and we got the job done. So if you want to get this far, you got to get the job done, and we did it.
He just played outstanding the whole ball game. He protected the football. We had great protection, and we found a couple guys like Antonio and Gronk. Both their touchdowns were more improv plays, and just did a great job. Great line, great tight ends. Everybody just did a hell of a job. Team effort.
They were the better team today. They beat us pretty good. The worst I think I've been beaten in a long time. But I'm proud of the guys now. They fought till the very end of the game.
All right, from the Super Bowl to the Super Spurs to the NBA, the Spurs back in action tonight. A pair of games taking on the Golden State Warriors, a little back-to-back action. Team's final games at the AT&T Center before our annual rodeo road trip. Tip-off for tonight's game set for 7:30. If you missed it, or if you do plan to miss it, busy Monday, you can catch all the highlights tomorrow on GMSA. All right, so our Samuel King correctly predicted the Buccaneers to win, as did our Sarah Costa. I was wrong. Maybe.
Oh, and that sounds so nice, Max.
You were right. I was wrong. So Samuel King, Warriors, Spurs tonight. Who you got?
Spurs came to mind first.
All right, there you go. Go Spurs, go.
Even though, see if Steph Curry had 50 points against the Mavs?
57.
57. Didn't want to cut him short.
No.
Speaking of cutting things short, you have plenty of time to head out on the road, so you don't need to do that at the moment. But there's one area you might want to head out now, and we'll tell you about that in a second. We have some construction here at 90 and Southwest 36th Street this week, and you can see right now things are looking fine, but that's something to watch out for, especially on the frontage roads. Also on 151, some frontage road construction out near 410 later today, but right now traffic time's looking good, 10 minutes between 1604 and 90. This is the place where if you're heading out, if you're in New Braunfels and other parts of Comal County, you might want to head out a little bit earlier because there is some fog being reported up there. And this is a look at TransGuide at 35 at Randolph. You can see that it's a little fuzzy there. Traffic building as well. So another reason if you're in the Northeast side, you might want to head out now too as the things start to move and people start to get going after the Super Bowl last night, guys.
Thank you, Samuel. And Mike, again, another picture perfect painting almost behind you.
Out there at Woodlawn. And he always does a fantastic job. My favorite part about the whole thing yesterday, and I think CBS kind of dropped the ball shooting this, the flyover.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you had a B1, a B2, and a B-52 all in formation, that triple flyover, which they just kind of, at the last second caught it. So being an airplane.
We thought you were just excited about the weekend playing.
No, the flyover. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. And that's basically out of focus, not necessarily any fog showing up in this picture, but like Sam was talking about, a little bit of fog is being reported around Randolph, and then it really drops down in New Braunfels, just a quarter-mile visibility. So there may be some mist on the roads as well with some of that fog. And there's also a little bit over toward Rock Springs. Really consistent temperatures, low to mid 50s right now, thanks to the humidity, thanks to the cloud cover. And the dew point temperatures, it is extremely high out there when you've got these numbers running neck and neck with the actual air temperature. We've got a lot of clouds, fog this morning. We'll see some clearing later on this afternoon. Then the fog or the clouds come back in, maybe even a little bit of fog tomorrow morning as well. We go into Wednesday. That's when we're going to start to see a couple of showers around here. And that'll be off and on throughout the day on Wednesday. Then really start to see more rain on Thursday. That's ahead of and right behind as the front moves on through. And we may actually see a couple of thunderstorms thrown in on top of that. Then we're going to start to clear back out again. And cold air, it is definitely up there, 36 below right now, International Falls. And again, it is a very shallow layer of cold air. So I was just talking with Justin Horn, and we were talking about the difference in still some of the computer models even going into the weekend. But as far as wind chills, 0 at Denver, 3 below Wichita. We stay on the mild side through midweek. And then still looking like the cold air is going to come in here late Wednesday, early on Thursday. It's going to be windy behind that front. And then temperatures will, I think, drop down throughout the day on Thursday. Then we sort of modify a little bit, mid 50s for a high on Friday. Saturday, then we're going to be poised for another good shot of that cold air to move on in here. And that's going to be on, as it looks right now, on Sunday when we get the really big surge of some colder air coming on in Sunday into Monday. 68 degrees today at noon, mostly cloudy skies. High temperature today up to 74, so well above normal by anywhere of, say, 6 to 10 degrees. Tomorrow, 55 starting off, 79 for a high temperature, 75 on Wednesday with some rain. Front moves through. I think we're warmer in the morning, drop down throughout the afternoon. On Thursday, that's the best chance for some rain. Rain gets on out of here. 55 Friday, Saturday some showers, and then Sunday is when we see some of those colder temperatures. And I'm going with just upper 30s on Sunday. It's going to be cold.
Burr, burr, burr.
You know,
yes, well
we
put,
are we're so lucky because for that to be a low of the week, considering everyone who's in the Midwest, the Northeast, this is
I'll
amazing.
take it.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Mike. 6:51, 54 degrees now.
Well, job security is more important than ever, but a small, silly mistake could cost you your job. Tomorrow on GMSA, some things to avoid to make sure it doesn't happen to you.
And let's take a live look out at the Alamo City right before we head to break. 54 degrees to start your marvelous Monday morning. What is the rest of the day? What does the weekend look like? We're going to check in with Mike for your last look at your forecast.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we are live from Tampa. They are still celebrating this morning after winning the Super Bowl. Tom Brady led his new team to the title, the 7th for him. We're going to talk to one of his teammates, Levante David, about the message that Brady sent his team that could have helped them win the big game. Plus, we'll have more on the weekend's stunning halftime show and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
All right, 6:55, 54 degrees out there. I'm looking extra casual because Mike and I were talking about the game. Shout out to Samuel King, correctly predicting the Bucs. Another Super Bowl victory for Tom Brady.
Yeah, but for the record, he's lost at least 2 of them.
Okay, that's still a pretty good record.
Right. And one of them to your team, too, Max. A little bit of a slowdown at 410 and I-10 East to keep in mind this morning. Also, if you're heading out into New Braunfels area, some fog starting to expand a little bit. 27 minutes coming in right now, so that travel time is still good. Here's a look at downtown at I-10 at Frio, Mike. Things looking fine on the roads. How about the weather?
Yeah, we got a little bit of fog around the area. Not bad, actually. You can see there's a little bit of a bright spot in those clouds out there. I think we'll see more later on today. 5 miles visibility ran up, but look at New Braunfels still hovering at a quarter mile. And we may see a little more fog throughout the rest of the morning. 53 right now. High temperature today up to 74.
All right, I talked too much. We're running out of time. See you here at 9 o'clock.